Okay, so in the previous class, we discussed Miller time-based generator, okay, which generates the time-based signals, okay, right? That's a Miller time-based generator circuit we have discussed, okay, right? Now, the next circuit that we are going to discuss is the bootstrap time-based generator circuit, okay? So the idea that we are now going to implement here is, it is this. See, the basic idea is this. Somehow, see, in the previous case, we maintained constant current, okay, through the capacitor, right? Here, what we will do is, we maintain constant voltage across a resistor, okay, that generates a constant current, and that current is forced through the resistor to achieve the, okay, generation of time-based signals, to achieve the generation of time-based signals. So the idea is this. See, this particular transistor, it is in emitter follower configuration. Okay, it is in emitter follower configuration. Emitter follower means common collector. Anybody remember what is the voltage gain of common collector amplifier? Students, what is the voltage gain of common collector amplifier? Anybody please answer. Unity, okay. Common collector amplifier has unity gain, okay, right? It is mentioned here. Emitter follower, also called as common collector, it has unity gain, okay. Voltage gain will be 1. What do we mean by voltage gain 1 means? Okay, whatever the voltage that we give at the input, the same voltage we get at the output, okay, right? So the voltage that we give here will be the same as the voltage here. Means the voltage at point X, Vx, will be equal to Vz. Okay, right? So then additionally we are connecting some battery. Additionally we are connecting a battery here. Okay, right? And then what do we have? Whatever the voltage we have here is Vx. Okay, right? And again this is also, okay, Vx, right? So now as good as the battery, okay, the battery is connected between, is simply connected across resistor, isn't it? Okay, right? Whatever voltage we have at X, the same voltage we have at Z, right? So it is as good as the voltage source is connected, okay, one end is connected here, another end is connected at Z, means it is equivalent to connected at X. So here what actually happens is, we are connecting this voltage source, right, virtually across R. Virtually we are connecting across R. Directly if you connect, no, the same, you cannot force the same current through the capacitor. So linear charging, which generates time-based signals, will not be achieved. So virtually we are connecting a voltage source across the resistor R, okay, and we know current will be V by R. Current will be this V dash by R, in this case a constant current. Now that constant current, when it comes here, it has paths. Switch is open, it cannot flow. Base current is very less, okay, negligible, right? Base of the transistor doesn't allow current to flow, doesn't allow much current to flow, right? So whatever the current comes here is forced through the capacitor, right? Is forced through the capacitor. So in this manner, we are forcing, okay, constant current through the capacitor, and that will provide, okay. And what happens when you provide constant current? Capacitor charges, okay, linearly it charges, and then whatever the voltage we have here, the same voltage we have here, okay. So gradually the capacitor charges, we get an increasing waveform. Then when we close the switch, capacitor immediately discharges. Then again when we open, it is ready to charge again. So in this manner, we can generate linear voltage versus, linear voltage versus time graph, which is nothing but the time-based signals. In this manner, we can generate the time-based signals. A modification for this circuit we will be discussing now is, in place of this V dash, we can actually connect a capacitor, right? In place of this V dash, where this V dash is connected, one end is connected to resistor, another is connected here, right? Emitter of the transistor. So one end we are connecting to resistor R, the other end we are connecting to the emitter of the transistor. See, if you take a 5 volt, if you take a capacitor, say 100 microfarad, if you take a 100 microfarad capacitor, charge it with 5 volt, then remove the supply, and if you measure the voltage across the capacitor, still it will be 5 volt. Okay, so it can maintain the voltage across it itself without using an additional battery. We can simply use the capacitor. Okay, as long as the capacitor doesn't discharge. Okay, suppose you take 5 volt battery, connect it to capacitor. Now you remove the battery and measure the voltage across the open capacitor, it will be 5 volt. As long as the capacitor doesn't discharge, or as long as the discharge to the capacitor is negligible, it maintains the voltage. Okay, that technique we are using here. Instead of putting a constant, instead of putting a voltage source, we are using a capacitor. Okay, and as a designer, we have to take care that it doesn't discharge sufficiently so that it maintains the voltage across, itself constant. And that again the same technique. Okay, again the same technique we have here, that is when the same base is connected point X, right? Emitter connected at point Z, emitter follower, whatever the voltage we have here, we get here, right? V dash connected across, virtually connected across resistor. Now this capacitor virtually connected across resistor. Okay, so that will, when the capacitor maintains a constant voltage across it, it will generate a constant current through the resistor, which is forced through this capacitor. Okay, and in this manner, we are able to achieve constant current through the capacitor, and that will generate a constant voltage. Okay, sorry, that will generate a time-based signal. That will generate a time-based signal. So here, this is how the practical bootstrap sweep circuit works. Okay. Now next, what we will do, again replace the transistor with its equivalent circuit. Okay. Then analyze, right, to get the mathematical expressions. That is what we are going to do here. We have resistor, capacitors, then RE. We will replace the transistor with its equivalent circuit and we will analyze. So this is our circuit, right? Resistor, capacitor, then another capacitor here, then RE, then transistor, then switch. Okay. So we have this particular circuit. Okay, we have this particular circuit. This is the equivalent circuit. This one is the equivalent circuit of the bootstrap sweep generator that we have just seen. Okay, right? Here, let us consider the case when the switch is closed. Okay, when the switch is closed, what do we have here? Current, has to flow in this path, switch is closed. So always current flows through the short circuit. So current flows here, okay. Then this is short circuit. So we have a short circuit across capacitor and resistor. Current doesn't flow through these components. Whatever current we get here, it comes in this path, then it flows like this, okay. So the path is V, R, switch, then this AVVI, then R naught, okay. Now if we apply KVL to this loop, leaving terminal we will consider, okay. So minus plus, so leaving terminal is plus V minus IR, okay. Then here leaving terminal again plus AVVI, always in the current direction, plus minus for resistor, isn't it? So again leaving terminal is minus. So minus IR naught. So what we are doing, we are simply writing KVL to this loop. VR, then AV, again I repeat, VR, AVI and R naught, okay. 4 components, 4 terms. So this is when we just close the switch. When we just close the switch, this is the situation, okay. And voltage across the capacitor is 0, isn't it? Okay. When we just close the switch, VI is also 0, isn't it? I told you voltage across a closed switch is 0. So when you close the switch, voltage across capacitor, voltage across RI is 0, which is nothing but the input voltage. So VI is 0. Okay. So when VI is 0, obviously A into VI is also 0, right? So from this, the I that we get will be simply V by R plus R naught. When we just, okay, close the switch, when we just close the switch, right? The relation we get is I is equal to V by R plus R naught. Okay, so now let us see what will be the output voltage. Here, the output voltage, if you see, okay, output voltage here is the same I observe because of this short circuit, the same current I flows in this path. Okay, so V naught will be, current is flowing from this side to this side. Okay, right? So current in this direction will be minus I. So V naught will be minus I into R naught plus AVVI. V naught will be minus I into R naught plus AVVI. Okay, what we are doing? Just applying KVL here. That's it. Okay. So we are getting V naught. Already we discussed AVVI is 0. So V naught is simply minus, okay, V naught is simply minus I into R naught. Already we got I, V by R plus R naught. So substituting that, okay, substituting the value of I here, we get V naught as minus, okay, see, in place of I, we are writing V by R plus R naught. So minus R naught into V by R plus R naught. This will be V naught at t is equal to 0 plus. So remember, in any capacitor circuit, see, capacitor doesn't allow sudden change of voltage across it. So V of 0 plus, V of 0 minus will be the same. Means just before switch off, what is the condition? The same is the condition just when the switch is turned on. Okay, right? So just before the switch is on, or just before the switch is, okay, just before the switch is on, or just after the switch is on, okay, both will be the same, right? You are switching on one, okay, 1 microsecond before the switch is on, or 1 microsecond before the switch is on, right? the voltage across the capacitor will be the same. So using that, we obtain the output voltage as minus V into R naught by R plus R naught. Now we will consider, okay, what happens at t is equal to infinity. T is equals to 0, we discussed. Now we will discuss what happens at t is equal to infinity. So first, now let us take the case. Initially switch is closed, now we are opening. Okay, initially switch is closed, now we are opening, right? So all this explanation is valid, right? Because just before the switch is closed or opened, the capacitor behaves the same, we have discussed, isn't it? Okay. So anyway, because capacitor doesn't allow sudden change in voltage across it, right? So now we are taking the case when switch is closed. At t is equals to 0, we are open the switch. This is the mathematical part. Now when t is equal to infinity, switch is open for long time, what happens? We are going to discuss. Okay. So what happens? Capacitor, it will sufficiently charge, it will settle, it will not allow any more current to flow through it. So the path of current will be, switch is open, so current doesn't flow through the switch, current doesn't flow through the capacitor. Now the current flows in this path, V, R, Ri, AVVI, R naught, and then back. Okay. So now if we apply KVL there, now if we apply, okay, the KVL, okay. For your convenience, what I am doing here is I am representing two different documents so that it will be easy for us to switch, okay, easy for us to analyze. Okay, so now we are considering the case when, right, the switch is open for a long time, the capacitor doesn't allow current to flow. So what will be I? I will be, see, one end of this resistor R, V is connected. Then other end of, okay, I said current will come like this, it will flow like this, right? The other end of this Ri is connected to the negative of V naught, okay? Or let us take like this. We discussed that the current will flow in this path, okay? The current will flow in this path. So what is the net voltage across? So now R and Ri appear to be in series because switch or the capacitor doesn't allow current to flow through it, okay? So what will be the net voltage? If you observe, the net voltage across these two will be V, okay? And the other terminal is connected to negative of V naught, right? So the net voltage across R and Ri will be V minus of minus V naught. So V plus V naught. Net voltage across the series combination of R and Ri will be V plus V naught. So current will be net voltage by net resistance. So V plus V naught by R plus R naught. So this is the expression for current I. Then at the output side, we have V naught is equals to minus I R naught plus AVI. Minus I R naught plus AVI. Okay. Then VI, we can write it as I into RI, Ohm's law. Okay. Right. Then here, what do we have? I, if we are substituting in this expression, I, okay, two I terms, if we are substituting, we are getting V naught this, okay. And then there is a V naught term here, again there is a V naught term, V naught term. If you simplify this, ultimately getting all the V naught terms together, taking V naught common, and we find this is the expression for V naught that we are getting. We have discussed that in this particular circuit, okay, the emitter follower provides voltage gain 1, right? So the V naught that we have here. In this, we can represent, we can take, okay, we can take A nearly 1. So this A is gone, okay, this A is gone, right? And then minus R naught, Ri, V, remaining term as it is, we are considering. And input resistance is high, output resistance is low, okay, right, for a voltage amplifier. And the same is valid for the emitter follower circuit. So what we have here is, we can again neglect the R naught. We can again neglect the R naught here, okay, the R naught here and the R naught here we can neglect. So neglecting R naught, V naught we got. This is V naught at t is equal to infinity. It is wrongly printed here. It is V naught at t is equal to infinity. Okay. ES. ES, if you see the expression for ES, actually it is Vs by, earlier we got V naught at, actually we got Vs by V. Okay. That was the expression that we got in the previous case. Because the initial voltage was 0. The exact definition